Welcome to I Heart Geek. And welcome to another episode of I Heart Geek, the Female Teams Edition.
Woo!
I'm so glad we have that higher pitch on today, because otherwise I'd feel really uncomfortable.
That's why I did that.
Yeah, the estrogen is just going to be off the charts here in this episode.
We all took an estrogen pill before this episode, in fact, didn't we, Jason?
I was going to kind of keep that to ourselves, but...
I don't need to, because I'm made of estrogen.
You're literally 96.7%
and
estrogen.
sugar.
So forget the sugar and spice, it's estrogen and sugar.
And then the other percentage that's left, I'm not doing the math, Venus flytrap.
That's me.
Wow. This is going to be one of those episodes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So we're doing female superhero team. We're not necessarily
No,
superhero
it's
teams.
superheroes, just female teams.
Female teams.
Female teams.
Yes, we're all over the board on this one, like we have been lately. So I'm Dub, and I wrote this, and...
I'm Miss Geeky Page, and I'm apparently made out of flytrap.
Just a little
Just a
percentage.
tiny percentage.
I'm Bly's, the tech guy.
That's it?
That's
Just
all-
Bly's
that's
the
all-
tech
that's
guy?
all I got.
That was
And then
the deadest intro
the
you've ever
tech
given.
And then he looks over at me like,
Yeah. Just,
oh, okay.
I'm ready to start the episode.
I'm PB&Jason. I'm sitting next to the tech guy.
So,
There, I did
Tech
a
Guy,
plot.
tell us something. Why are we doing this episode this week?
We are doing this episode this week because this Friday,
Friday!
releases the newest DC movie, Birds of Prey and the Emancipation of the Fabulous Harley Quinn.
Something Harley Quinn.
I don't know about y'all. I think the name's stupid, but I am really
I'm
looking
just
forward to
calling
this
it a
movie.
Birds of Prey movie.
That's what I'm calling it.
It's like a spin-off sequel of Suicide Squad, which I think what they did was they took what the best parts of Suicide Squad
Which
were,
would be Harley Quinn.
which was Harley Quinn, and I just think the way the universe kind of looked, and now they're going to try and make a better movie from it. And from what I can tell, the first reactions from the movie is that it's good.
Everything that I've heard, I haven't heard anybody saying, "Oh, this one sucks."
Yeah.
I think the other thing is like there's never been, as far as I can tell, there's never been any complaints with Margot Robbie's portrayal of Harley Quinn.
No, it's very
So-
good. I will say that there is a little bit of a curmudgeon for me when it comes to this, only because of the first impression of the side characters to Harley Quinn, who have very rich comic book source
And you don't know who they
material,
are.
and they look like the Teen Titans. It's like
Kinda.
they
Yeah,
got
the
the Teen
costume's a
Titans
little
angst
iffy.
and all that, and it's like angsty and it's like, okay, if we're gonna have the Birds of Prey, and I'll see it, maybe I'll be wrong completely, and that's great. I'd actually like to be. That'd be great. But if you're gonna have characters as rich as Cassandra Cain and Renee Montoya and Helena Bertolini with such rich
And
histories,
Laurel Lance. Mm-hmm. Laurel Lance.
right. Yeah, I think you can't just make them angsty teenagers.
Well, once again, it's probably sponsored by Hot Topic, just like Suicide Squad was.
I think with this one we'll have to keep our minds open, because I wouldn't be surprised if we get a semblance of their costumes as we know them to be, but probably at the end of the film.
Oh, yeah, for
once
sure.
they finally form that Birds of Prey team.
Well,
Third
as the one person at this table
Yeah.
will proudly say, I enjoyed the Suicide Squad movie.
I thought it was okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was okay.
So here's what
Taj is the hater
Oh,
of that.
God.
So here's my thoughts on it, and you guys know I'm not a DC guy, but
No.
But I'm not.
I
really
enjoyed
either, but yeah.
I enjoyed Suicide Squad, and I think I'm going to enjoy this movie because DC is finally breaking away from the characters that they keep reusing over and over and over again, and that's what made the Marvel Universe so successful, was that they took these characters that were at the time considered B and C list characters, and they gave them their moment to shine. And I hope that's what we see with this new movie, is they take these characters that have always been supporting cast and they make them the forefront, and it's gonna make for a good movie.
And it also looks like it's going to be a lot of fun,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
one of the things that was such a success about Wonder Woman, and what was such a success about Shazam
And Aquaman.
Aquaman is that they were just fun. And this one looks like it's just gonna be
I'm a little
lark.
I'm hopeful though.
So-
I'm hopeful that my pessimism is proven
Yeah.
wrong.
Yeah.
I'm just hoping there's no Batman.
Yeah, it's hard to
Agreed.
stay. It's really hard to kind of stay optimistic about the DC movies because
'Cause they
they've
stink
been
so
so
bad.
hit or miss. Like
Yeah.
we got better movies in Wonder Woman, Aquaman, and Shazam, but before that is just a
We had Man of
list of just
Steel
not
and-
the greatest things to come out.
But I choose to go into it with
Oh,
a very
100%.
I'm excited about it.
Me too.
So and I haven't actually been excited about a DC movie in quite a while.
I hate
Wonder
Harley
Woman.
Quinn, and I'm not a fan of DC. I'm excited to go to see this
I think
movie.
it looks like it's gonna be fun.
So why are you excited?
It feels different. It just feels different from what DC. I want every comic book movie to come out to succeed because the more that they succeed, the more that
more
we
we
get,
get.
and the more stories that we get to unfold.
And the more content we
Yeah.
have on a
And
show?
the more content we have. So I want to see everyone succeed, but and this is the one of the first ones where I'm looking at and I'm like, this looks like something that's going to be good, whether you are a comic book fan or not a just general audience. I
Yeah.
think general audience will go to this movie and they will also enjoy this movie.
I do like Margot Robbie's portrayal of Harley Quinn.
Mm-hmm.
I think it
She seems
is
to
definitely
understand the
entertaining.
character really
Yeah.
well, which I like.
For sure.
Yeah.
I mean, her voice isn't perfect, but she's better than some of the voice actresses they've had on.
But she's
Harley
Australian
lately.
and sexy.
She's pretty. She's very.
No, and she's a good actress.
Yeah, there's no queens in her voice. But with that being said, highly excited. Let us know what you guys thought of the movie actually after you watch it.
Please do.
I hope I'm wrong. I hope I go and love it. I really do.
You know, and speaking for everyone on the show, Jason, we all hope you're wrong too.
Yeah. No, that's good.
No, because I'd say I'm excited about
I just want the side characters to have the richness that they deserve.
I think they will.
Okay, I hope so.
I think that they will.
it. I think at least half of them will.
Okay.
And you know what? My thoughts honestly is half of them get fleshed out well. We have a success,
Okay.
and that's the bare minimum that I'll be happy with.
Which is why Suicide Squad to me was an enjoyable movie. Not every single character of the Suicide Squad was enjoyable, but at least half of them were.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's fair. Now I say,
Glass half full.
I say just don't go in expecting to see the Avengers. It's a different movie. That's kind of the problem we have. And when DC stops trying to make Marvel movies, they do really well.
Yeah.
Wonder Woman and all the ones we talked about. When they try to be Marvel, they turn into, Man of Steel and Batman versus Superman. They're just terrible.
I think actually they were trying not to be Marvel so hard that they just made bad movies.
Yeah.
Dark and gritty.
Yeah, exactly.
Ick. Okay, so let's do something we haven't done in a while. We're not doing a game show today, but we are doing a Who Beats Who.
And now it's time for a showdown.
Okay, so we
Be
are...
still my heart.
Oh, Jason's excited for this one.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
am, man.
We haven't done these in
this
probably
is-
like 4 months, 5
This
months.
is my baby.
Longer than that because me and Courtney have been around for over
Wow,
6
now.
months now.
And you guys have
And
never
we
done a
have
Who Beats Who?
never
Never
done a
done a
Who
Who
This
Beats
is
Who.
my baby
I've
in the-
only ever heard of the Who
Yeah.
Beats Who and the tragic win of the Who Beats Who.
Yeah.
Oh, you came
Agreed.
in right after that? I think
Yeah.
that's why I stopped writing it in, because you guys gave me so much crap about my
That's
person winning
because your person should
that you guys never let it go.
because
ever.
it doesn't make any sense.
You know,
It does.
it's why I wanted to do a geek podcast. It's my baby who discussing. It's the ultimate geek argument. People love this,
Yeah.
So welcome back,
I think
segment.
Star Trek versus Star Wars might be the ultimate
I do a
geek
Who Beats Who on
argument.
that.
Anyway,
So we're doing a kind of abbreviated, because we're not going to be getting any audience feedback on this one.
That's fine.
Yeah, we're going to see how it goes, and I don't know. We'll see what happens next.
The audience
in 2
votes
weeks.
for the audience votes for Harley Quinn
Because
all the
they're right.
time, and so yeah, I think.
Oh, and that would definitely help us out
love,
on this one.
Love
Yeah.
you guys,
But you're
not
wrong.
interested in your votes.
Wow. The opinions of Jason do not necessarily reflect the opinions
Those of
of
this
I Heart
podcast.
Geek. Yeah, there you go.
And maybe they do.
So today we are doing because we're in the throngs of the
Anything.
fever for Birds of Prey. We're doing Birds of Prey versus the female team from Kill Bill, which was the Deadly Viper Assassination Squad. This will be interesting because I actually have no idea what everyone's going to vote on or what everyone's arguments on. So the 4 people we're playing is for the Birds of Prey. It is Harley Quinn, the Huntress, Batgirl, and Black Canary. And this is Black Canary with the power.
Oh yeah.
She does have the canary scream. Okay.
Yep. Versus the Deadly Viper Assassination Squad, which was the Uma Thurman character, which was the Black Mamba. We have the Daryl Hannah character, which was the California Mountain Snake. That's the worst name, by the way.
I know.
Terrible. The Lucy Liu character, which was Cottonmouth. And the Vivica A. Fox character, which was Copperhead. If you saw Kill Bill, you know what these girls can do.
Yeah.
There are no superpowers, but they are pretty much highly trained.
Highly skilled martial artists.
Highly skilled. So let's talk the positives on each team before we go on. Let's start with the Deadly Viper Assassination Squad. I don't know if I'd call them highly disciplined though. They're highly trained, but they have turned on each other.
Yeah, but they did it under orders.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they were definitely
Highly
highly
disciplined.
disciplined with the training that they received, and like you said, they turned on each other because of orders that were given to
By
them
Bill.
by Bill, which shows how disciplined that they were. Even with the worst kind of direction you are given, you still do it.
Yeah, they were cold calculating business. Obviously, they turned on Mamba when Bill told them to do it without a second thought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, if you think that, because Oren Ishii, Cottonmouth,
Lucy Liu,
she her character ends up taking over a branch
Yakuza.
of the Yakuza,
Yeah.
which is almost impossible for a female to do. And she does it through precision and control and discipline, in addition to just the skill she has.
And ruthlessness.
Yeah. So, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
So as far as being absolutely ruthless, that's an advantage to them
Oh, absolutely.
in a fight situation for sure.
So who on this team, and we'll go to the other team after this, who is our weak link and who's our strongest link?
Well, the weak link would be Daryl Hannah because she has an eye patch.
Yeah.
Well, even without the eye patch, I think that she is way too self-serving. I think that would be the...
She was unfortunately
Yeah.
too sadistic, where I think Vivica Fox, the Cottonmouth, and Copperhead followed the orders of Bill because Bill told them to do it, and their feelings didn't really get into the mix. I think that California Snake, being jealous of Black Mamba,
Yeah.
her jealousy,
and definitely enjoyed.
enjoyed it and got
And
into,
and that's what
she
killed
wanted
her.
to have the position with Bill that Uma Thurman had.
Yeah, I think she's our weak link.
Yeah, so she's the weak link.
So
for sure.
and I'm guessing our strong link is definitely going to be the Uma Thurman
No.
character.
I would
Really?
actually
Lucy
say,
Liu.
I would actually say Cottonmouth is
Yep.
the strongest link of them all.
Yeah.
Yeah, because yes, Black Mamba is good, but Lucy Liu's character is just... Because if you watch the film, to be honest, I've always been the one that there's no way that Uma Thurman should have.
Oh, no, absolutely
Won
not.
that fight.
Right.
Yeah.
No, she would not have won the
She
fight.
wouldn't have
against
won any of
Oren
the
Ishii.
fights, to be fair.
Yeah.
Well,
She
except
may have
against
been
Daryl
able-
Hannah.
Yeah, she may have been able to beat Daryl Hannah. She may have been able to beat Vivica Fox. I'll give him that. There's no way she would have been.
So
able
she
to
may even be
beat Oren
very
Ishii.
close to the weak link, is from what you're saying.
No, because she still would have been able to beat Daryl Hannah.
She's the one that let's say if they would have not betrayed each other and Bill would have been killed, she would have taken over. She would have
Oren
become,
Ishii?
she would have
Yeah.
become the leader of
Yeah.
that squad. She had the
Cottonmouth
skills. She had
would've.
I mean, if you can become the leader of the Yakuza, you have the skills
Yeah.
To do whatever you need
to do whatever you need. So she's the strong suit in that.
Yeah, and
team.
of the fights, I agree. Of all the fights that Uma Thurman does, that is the only one that feels unbelievable to me in her ability to win it.
Okay.
I agree.
Yeah.
So let's move. That's the kind of the blueprint for the Deadly Viper Assassination Squad, and they have a terrible name. I'm sorry. They do.
One more thing about them, just because
Go
give Uma Thurman, Black Mamba credit for being probably the toughest one probably the most durable, tough, able to take it and able to dish it out.
I will give you that.
Yeah, I would say that's another strong suit.
She cured her paralysis on will alone.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So she could have been a Green Lantern.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Tarantino Green Lantern.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the movie we're going to get next.
Okay, now let's move on to our birds of prey. Now there have been more than, I think, 50 different members of the Birds of Prey at one point or the other, and I wish there's a couple of these people we could have pulled on, but we decided to use the movie.
So I'm going to go with what I know, and that might be a little different than what the movie presents us. But this is a different situation because you have less discipline. Okay, you're dealing with at least 3 of them that have notable mental problems, and that, of course, is always a weakness. You got Harley.
Harley's nuts.
You've got Cassandra Cain, who has mental issues, and you have the Huntress, who has mental issues. Less so than the other 2, but they are there and they are a weakness. And then which Black Canary are we using?
Dinah
for sure?
Laurel Lance.
Okay, the one that notably in comics canon.
The first canary.
Okay,
The first
yeah.
And
which
it's
is
the one they're using in
Yeah,
Birds of
she-
Prey.
now she's as highly trained, I think, as any of the.
She's the leader,
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I
Yeah.
think she's
and she's
got
not.
power. She has a superpower.
She does have a power, and she's not mentally unhinged.
You know, and
the way the
that
other ones
actually
are.
adds a lot of points to that team all alone. Our weak link is obviously Harley
Because
Yeah.
she's crazy.
because she's crazy. However, that wild card can be a good thing. But
That's what
the
I was
same
gonna
things we
say.
said about Daryl Hannah, we can say about Harley.
I think Harley, because of Harley's craziness, her unpredictability can be an asset, but it can also be a detriment.
Yeah, it's a flip of the coin.
But
on
it
which one
can
you're
be an
gonna get.
asset for show.
True.
But I think that out of the 100 times that she fights, I think 85 of those would that craziness would help you. It's that 15 times that it doesn't.
Yeah.
And here's the way that I look at like 2 of the competitors. Okay, so in canon, Cassandra Cain's Batgirl
Yes.
is one of the most absolute, hands down, deadly martial artists.
Oh, she's
out there.
way better
She's-
than Barbara.
She's
way.
yeah, she's
She took out.
she's
Dick.
Lady, isn't she Lady Shiva's daughter?
Yes.
Okay, so and trained by
The
that
League of
whole-
Assassins, yeah.
yeah, and isn't she even? I mean, don't they say that her raw skill surpasses Batman?
I haven't heard that, but I wouldn't be surprised on it.
Surpasses Nightwing?
She took out Dick.
Right. So she is the one that Oren Ishii. You did it. That's what I think.
I
was
wasn't
great this
trying to be
time.
bad on it.
Yeah, you guys did it. You guys always laugh at me when I do that, and I just keep going and ignore you.
We were being adults.
Yeah, we
These
were this
two
time,
were
right?
not.
But I think Oren Ishii and Cassandra Cain match up to fight, and I think that's a real tough one to call.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If the Cassandra Cain has the same level of skill if the Cassandra Cain has the level of skill that she's like in the movie, if she's supposed to have the level of skill that she has in the comic books, then absolutely agree with you. on
Right.
that.
So I think the best way to look at this is how they would match up 1-to-1. As a team, I think it's hard to call.
Well, let's match up. Let's say
let's say 1-to-1.
Let's say Cassandra versus Oren Ishii. Let's put that because that's the most interesting.
That'd
fight.
be probably
that
more
one goes on, and I can't clearly call that one off the top of my head.
I think that they're both dead at the end.
maybe
Probably, yeah.
I would say Canary versus Black Mamba.
Canary versus
Yeah,
Black
Yeah.
Mamba.
That would probably be the best call.
And I would give that one probably to. Oh well, the superpower changes everything.
That's
so
the
I'm
thing.
just-
I would say
So-
Canary would top Mamba only because
Of
of the
the power.
Canary scream.
Are we saying that? And I don't know if in this movie is it a power or is it a voice modulator?
I'm
Is
not
it a
sure
piece
that
of tech?
Well, let's
because
go-
if it's a piece of tech, then that's something
That
that Black
changes the
Mamba
game.
can.
Yeah, I hope we go with the power because
yeah,
that's
that's-
kind of what
okay,
I like.
are we going
So skill
metahuman?
versus skill now. Dinah is.
She trained the Justice League.
She
all
is,
of them.
yeah, she
Yeah.
is no joke. I think she actually both out skills and with the power outmatches Black Mamba. Black Mamba could take a lot of what Dinah could dish out, but I think that Dinah is the clear winner.
So
in
you
that
think
one.
she's going to be in a box paralyzed at the end of that and have to will herself back out?
To punch
No, but I
herself.
think Dinah is kind of the clear. Will come out of that clearly on top.
Okay.
Okay. So let's say Huntress versus
Mountain Snake?
Huh?
Mountain Snake.
Mountain. No, I would
No?
put Harley against Mountain Snake because they're both the
Oh
weakest.
yeah,
Okay, yeah.
okay.
So
I'm
let's
into
put
that.
Huntress against
Copperhead.
She has to put her Copperhead.
Again,
That's a close fight.
that is a close fight. I don't know if I can call that.
Huntress has a lot of martial arts skill, but I don't think it's quite up to the level of the other two, Black Canary and Cassandra Cain.
yeah.
She's good with the crossbows, obviously.
Well, depending on the daughter of.
But then again, Vivica Fox was a skilled martial artist, but I don't think she was up to the level of the other two. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know, so that is a good match. I can't.
I don't know if I can call
it to
that one.
Copperhead. I think I'm giving it to Copperhead just because I think she's more trained. Huntress was never really trained. She was just kind of like a street level villain.
No, she was trained. She was very well trained.
By who?
Well,
Batman eventually.
Batman
Eventually, Batman. I'm
Batman and
talking about
Nightwing
your.
trained her.
well, if you want to talk with her original origin would be the Batman Catwoman daughter. That's Earth 2. That's what she is.
But she was retconned to be the daughter of gangsters.
She's a gangster's
which was
daughter
right
now.
now.
Yeah.
But she was also learned survive, very similar to the story of Elektra. Which
Yeah.
made her, and Elektra was a bad human being.
Right.
you know?
I don't remember who trained Huntress. I don't remember if it was Shiva again or Nightwing or Batman. Or
I think
all of them.
I know it was Batman was one of them.
Right.
So I'm not sure.
I think if we're going movie format, which I don't think they're going to get too much into her being trained by Batman and all these different. I think Copperhead takes it if she's just street level,
Okay.
offspring of like different gangsters.
That one's tough. I can't call that one
I think
just
it's
yet. I
tough.
have to
Yeah,
think
all
about
these
that
are
one.
really tough.
Yeah, I have to think about that one.
I would say that, but I mean, Copperhead. I'm remembering the fight that she has with Mamba, and she uses every single thing to her advantage that she can get her hands on.
But
Yeah.
that's why I match up her and Huntress
Yeah.
because that's what Huntress does. She's
Yeah, because like she grabs
with everything.
She grabs furniture. She grabs shards of things. I mean, she's got the skill, but she also makes sure she uses everything that she can to her advantage in that particular fight. And to be honest, I think the only reason she really lost is because her daughter walked into the room
That's a good point.
Yeah,
That
that's
is
true.
true.
and
That's
she
a good
lost her
point.
focus.
So if she
true.
is well enough trained and good enough to beat Black Mamba, but with the only thing being her daughter, like I think she takes Huntress. I'm giving it to Copperhead.
I'm still on the fence, but let's move to the next fight.
All these I'm really on the fence on just about it. What all three of these I've been kind of on the fence on. And the final one we'll do is California Mountain Snake versus Harley.
Okay. You want it first, or may I?
Go ahead.
Okay. California Mountain Snake is more skilled, but I think Harley is going to easily win this between the
Really?
two.
Yeah, I'm going
because
with Harley on this
because
one, too.
Harley will know how to exploit the emotions. She will use the single peripheral vision, the single eye vision to her advantage. And Harley is smart enough in this
To
fight
manipulate.
to manipulate
Yeah.
and see what she needs to do to avoid the superior skills that the character has. So I think Harley actually pretty easily wins this one.
That's actually a very interesting take because California Mountain Snake I think could beat others probably easier. Harley is the one person that will so easily manipulate her because that's what she does. She manipulates.
I think
Yeah.
Harley's wild card status too will also really give her the advantage because California Mountain Snake is going to expect her to act one way and she's not going to do it.
Yeah.
You know, because she expected when she fights Black Mamba, she expects Black Mamba to do certain things, and she does in fact do those things.
And that's when she wins.
And so there's
Or is
always
winning, yeah.
that's why she ends up she starts to overpower her because she anticipates what she's not gonna be able to anticipate what Harley's gonna do.
And quite
Half the
honestly,
time, Harley doesn't know what she's gonna
Quite honestly, I think Harley beats her in the same way that Mama beat her.
do. Yeah,
I think she rips her eye out.
pulls her eye out.
Yep.
So for our Baby Yoda opinion,
Unfortunately, there's really, it's hard to argue with those kinds of points. I think that Harley does. As much as I hate to say it, I think Harley takes it just because.
this is my ringtone.
I think Harley takes it. I think Harley takes it. I think Harley takes it.
You just have a trained, like you said, you have a trained assassin versus who's going to think about the fight and how it's going to be perceived to go, but Harley's going to throw that to the wind.
Well, it's chess versus checkers, but the advantage here is checkers.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which
Agreed.
is weird. Okay, so it's almost a wash we're looking at for the one-on-one, but as a team, what are we saying?
I think the Birds of Prey win.
Birds of Prey win, especially if you're giving Canary meta powers.
Yeah, I think that Birds of Prey win mostly because of Canary. I think that in a pinch, if Canary did not have the Canary Scream, I
think Birds of Prey
think
still
that
take
in the end, Birds of Prey, it's a harder fight, but I think Birds of Prey barely sneak by without Canary having the ability to do the Scream. But with the Scream, I think that that Birds of Prey take this.
Yeah, I think Birds of Prey take it for the same reasons. I think if you make the Canary Scream into a voice modulator instead of a power, the Deadly Viper Assassination Squad.
Assassination
Squad. Jeez Louise. I think they find a way around it, and then it becomes a closer fight.
And then I think the key to their victory becomes Harley Quinn, quite honestly. The unpredictability of Harley Quinn going against all that discipline.
See, and this is where I don't think so. I think Harley Quinn becomes a hindrance more than helping in a team fight. I don't think that she will work well with the other one. She'll eventually do what she wants to do, and that may not be the best for a team
and that
fight.
may not be during this fight either.
And
Like I said, 85% of the time, that's who you want.
Yeah, and I think that's something we see in this upcoming movie is that she's the one that kind of builds this team,
right?
But she's going to do something that derails the team. I think that's your conflict, and I think that's the conflict in this fight. So I think if Birds of Prey doesn't win, it's by a very, very small margin.
Okay.
I think the Deadly Viper Assassination Squad wins.
Really?
There you
Yep,
go.
and I think the Canary Cry, if it's an actual meta powers, yes, it will be much harder to beat. If it's a piece of tech, then I feel that either Black Mamba or Cottonmouth is gonna identify that quickly, and it's gonna neutralize it because they're gonna know where to go for. I also think Cottonmouth's gonna take out Harley real quick because she's gonna identify her as the wild card because already she is the smartest of all of them. She's gonna identify that Harley is the wild card, and if they take her out, then all they have to do is just knock around the other three. The other thing, the reason I say this is I think in the movie they're not going to be as trained as we think they are. We're thinking in the terms of this is how they are in the comic
But this
books
is what
right
we have
now.
to look at too. Right?
Yeah, so I think this is still up in the air because we don't know.
Right.
But I think the Deadly Viper Assassination Squad is so much higher on the skill level than what we're going to be given right now for the girls in the film. No question.
Well, then quickly, if it were the comic book one, does your opinion stay the same?
It does, actually. It's a harder one fight, but
your neutralizing Harley strategy is what you think takes it
yeah, I think, and I mean, if the Canary Cry is
Harley is the center of attention, darn it.
Well, because you look
And I didn't even bring her up
you
today.
look at that character. If I'm one of the Deadly Viper Assassination Squad, I'm going to look at all four of them. I'm going to do a quick reconnaissance on them. I'm going to suss them all up, and I'm going to notice that one is nuts because she doesn't hide it well. I'm going to notice that one is nuts, so I'm going to neutralize that one first.
Right. The wild card.
Because then I don't have to worry about her jumping into something later on and getting in the way of everything. Now, with the Canary Cry, if it's a piece of tech, I'm also going to find a way to destroy the tech or neutralize the tech or do something with it.
Yeah.
If the Canary Cry is a meta power, then I'm going to do the same thing to her that I did with Harley Quinn. I'm going to go, she's got a power that trumps me. I got to get her out of the equation as quickly as I possibly can. So it leaves you with Cassandra Cain, and it leaves you with Huntress.
Let me ask you this, too, because I didn't take this into account. Are the Birds of Prey normally associated with being a hero team, or are they anti-heroes? They are
Heroes.
straight up heroes. They're not
Yeah.
anti-heroes.
Yeah.
Well, adding Harley to the mix changes that, but
Huntress
the initial
goes back and forth.
Yeah,
Right.
because I'm even thinking of if the Canary Cry, even if it is a meta power, depending on where they lean, and this could be more on Harley, if someone finds a way to slit her throat, to cut her neck. Maybe even not
neutralize her
to,
right away.
Yeah, maybe even not to kill her, but like you said, to neutralize her.
interesting. So does it come
Oh,
down
is
to
it
you?
even a question on this one?
Don't even let him respond. We can save 20 minutes by.
I'm going to make this real easy. 85% of the time, Birds of Prey are going to win.
Yeah, I'm just the outlier on this one, so sorry, guys.
I understand your points.
You made some points that I didn't consider.
Yeah.
But it doesn't change my answer. But
Well, yeah, no,
I say
totally.
85% of the time, Birds of Prey are going to win. That fit, if you're lucky, you get that 15%.
Yeah.
You get it. But
No, I totally get why you guys went with Birds of Prey. I'm behind that.
and hey, let's be honest, the heroes always win in the end. So
Yeah.
no, but your points were awesome.
That girl?
You could do Hoobie 2 anytime you want, actually, because that was awesome. Those were really good points.
That girl?
So
that I
here's
didn't
what
consider.
here's what I think we do, since this has kind of been a stalemate.
We fight.
We fight, we
see
film
who
it,
beats
we
who.
put it on
See
YouTube.
who beats who of this table.
75% of the table said, so the majority says Birds of Prey.
Oh no, I'm up in the air too.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
I thought
no,
you said
I'm
Birds of
not.
Prey.
I'm not 100
Sorry.
into Birds of Prey either.
Okay.
I think it's a close enough fight for us to do this. Let's let our listeners
Good idea.
listen to what we had to say.
Vote for Harley.
Let's not just go
Vote for
based
Harley.
on
Vote
one
for-
character. And
What are your thoughts?
What
of
are
this
your
movie,
thoughts?
too?
Tell us who you think wins, and let's see if the voting does not favor one single character.
We will
but
list it
an
on
entire
all the
team.
places.
That's a
and-
good idea.
We'll list it on all the places, and let's do a short snippet.
Snort?
A snort.
Snort,
Let's do a
sniff?
little-
Snort sniffing?
a short snippet next episode.
no, it won't be
Not next episode, but the episode. We'll give it a
In
few
2
weeks.
weeks.
We'll give it a few weeks to reside with everyone, and then we'll announce a winner on the next, not next episode, but next episode.
Okay, I'm confused, but cool. Let's do that.
No, it's good.
Sounds good. I
Actually,
like
this
that
is
idea.
it's a little different than we used to do before, but it makes more sense. We discuss, we present our answers, and then we
You
get
check it out.
the listeners
Yeah.
to tell us how stupid we are.
Well, they do that anyway.
You know, everybody smell Courtney. We have to talk about this.
Nice.
Miss Geeky Purge.
So let's move
so
on.
we ended up 3-1
Yep.
and on this table. Actually,
Let's do 2-2.
2-2.
I'm gonna go with the.
Well, because
Oh,
anything,
you're-
he
Did I-
always
did
votes
Did
against
I
Harley.
win you over with my?
Yes, you won me. I was on the fence. I was on the fence. She teetered me over.
You came close to winning me over too, admittedly,
Yeah,
but I
yeah.
still think that the Birds take it.
Nice.
I like it. Debate is good.
Okay, so our first important question of the day that's not who beats who.
Is there another important question?
Yes, there is. Let's be honest, most of the female teams, there's a few that have popularity, but most don't. A, why? And B, is this something that needs to be fixed?
Well,
This is loaded, I know.
This is an area where I definitely want to defer mostly to our lovely Miss Geeky Page. But the one kind of introducing idea to this is there just haven't been that many female teams. It's a concept that is becoming more, and not in absolute modern times, but it's a newer concept in comics.
Yeah.
Where you had the mixed teams, of course.
Yeah.
But an all-female team, there's things that go along with that historically and otherwise.
I think some of it probably has to do with, at least in the terms of comics, and I'm going to say TV as well, because, we talk about TV teams too in what we're talking about. I think some of it probably has a lot to do with the fact that for the longest time, there was this belief that girls didn't read comic books. And that girls didn't watch certain shows, like they didn't watch sci-fi or they didn't watch superhero shows. And so we were never thought of as a demographic that had to be reached. So it was just not something that was ever considered. And now that I think people realize that comic books are for everybody, and like Doctor Who is for everybody, and sci-fi film shows are for everybody, that this stuff belongs to everybody that enjoys it, it's like, oh, well, let's throw some girls together because we've not done that before, and we know that demographic is actually out there. I think they just didn't know we were there before.
They didn't know that it could make money.
Yeah, I mean, and they just, I think for the longest time, they just didn't realize that we were out there enjoying this stuff too, and now they know.
Right. And that goes hand in hand with marketing, and merchandise. But man, it has definitely been a rocky road to get. And I don't even think the rocks in the road are even all gone. I think there's still, people are going to look at Birds of Prey and they're going to look at it like a girl team. That's how they're going to think of it, a girl team, not just a team. And of course, the goal is, let's just look at this as a team.
Yeah, and not to get too political, because we don't do that. But I thought what was interesting, I noticed this week on Twitter, some gentleman, comic book fan, made a comment that he thinks it's going to flop. The film is going to flop because he's taken all of the sex appeal out of the four characters, the four ladies that are in there, and people were like, well, because you don't see them that way doesn't mean it's going to flop. But then again, if you don't see them that way, maybe it wasn't made for you in the first place.
Yeah. Well, that's a really...
But I don't want to get too into the weeds with that.
That's a really old way of thinking, because that's what female comic book characters were for
right. Remember I was talking about rocks in the road?
Yeah.
That's a big old rock.
Yeah, and this was just this week. I mean, it's been a long road to get where we are, and the thing I always bring it up. Look how long it took until we had Wonder Woman on the big screen.
Right.
Yeah.
She's a 75-year-old character.
The desexualizing, I guess that would be the right term. The desexualizing of female characters is important, even though I still think they should remain female, and what is attractive about females should remain with them.
Yeah.
But desexualizing them has been another controversial but necessary move in this.
So.
Yeah, and I have no issue with anything anybody's saying on this. However, there's 2 points I want to bring up. One, how to make it so that this doesn't gain more popularity is when you take existing characters and change them to whatever for the
don't shoehorn them into something, and that goes the same way with
I am
forth
so
on both
for
characters.
Don't change them to check boxes.
No, I am so for create a character that you want because you love the character.
Yeah,
and then people will love the character. When you take Superman and we're going to turn him into a female, I'm like, no, that's not. I mean, that's an exaggeration. That hadn't happened. But
don't shoehorn a character in just to check off the demographic boxes that you think you want to do. But if you can it's like, I think we talked about it when we were talking about Ryan Choi taking over as the Atom in the Arrowverse. It's perfectly cool that they now have an Asian guy.
If you make it to make sense.
And it makes sense. It literally makes sense. They didn't just create Ryan Choi to say, oh, well, we need to have an Asian-based superhero, so let's just throw him in there. No, he has a legitimate backstory, and it works.
Yeah.
So
but then they shoehorn and make a female Thor, and nobody likes it.
I got a question for you guys,
which was the highest selling Thor book in the history of the book.
The first one, and then
the whole series.
The whole series.
The whole female series. The female story is the highest selling
I haven't heard anybody
Thor
like
book.
it.
Yeah.
But
it doesn't. I don't think it matters Thor's a female. Like you said, Thor's a female, but it's not Thor. They didn't just change Thor.
Right,
they
exactly.
gave
The power
this
of Thor
female
to Jane
character.
Foster.
They gave this female character Thor's powers, and they call him Thor because Thor is more than just a person. It's a power set. It's a symbol now, and I think that's where you, like you said, you don't recast to check a box, but regardless of race, of gender, of any of that, who cares? As long as
story.
As long as the story is held up and the casting is good.
That's a lot of the problem on a lot of stuff.
This brings up exactly what I wanted to say and get your guys' opinion, because this one's a really tricky thing, and this is my opinion on it. I love original characters. I mean, I love the bravery of trying to put out someone new, trying to get them popular. I did it myself, just attempted that. What I don't like, even though I understand why it happens, but I think it's detrimental, is the celebration that goes along with every new female character.
But that's because we have never had those characters before.
But that's true a while back. It's not so true now.
We've never had a female doctor until Jodie took over. So
That's
celebrating
been terrible.
Okay,
but here's
that's
not her
here's
fault.
the thing. Should we celebrate her because it's a female doctor or because she's a good character?
It should be both. But the thing is that is a 57-year-old series that has never had a female at the helm. And now all of a sudden, you're giving me a female. Yes, by God, that has to be celebrated because we've waited 57 years for our turn.
But don't you think
that's why the celebration happens.
Right, but don't you think that works against the idea of being able to present whatever you want without any kind of negative stigma being attached by those that shouldn't, I agree with you, but do anyway?
No, because it's going to be negatively it's not going to be negatively viewed by people, whether we celebrate the fact that there's a female version of this now or not.
I think
there's going to be always that faction of people that aren't going to like the change.
I think the celebration too, and I get what you're saying is, I think the celebration comes with the first. So you had the first female doctor. Yes, it should be celebrated as the first female doctor, 100%. If there are 10 more female doctors,
then no.
It does not need to be celebrated every time as being the female doctor.
Exactly.
The next Wonder Woman movie does not need to be celebrated as the first female superhero on the big screen with the first female director. Now it is just a Wonder Woman movie, and that's what it needs to be celebrated.
Yeah, and maybe I wasn't. That's kind of what I meant. So maybe I wasn't clear.
The first time, absolutely. Does it need to, and I get where you're coming from, do we need to see it with every instance of that character being displayed on every single TV ad, on every single post on Facebook, on Twitter, on all this social media? I think there's a balance that needs to happen. It needs to be celebrated, but it also doesn't need to be celebrated to the point of annoyance like Baby Yoda.
And I can get on board with both of that. Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I would rather celebrate a character because it's a great character. For instance, the Doctor Who thing, regardless of your political affiliations, it's been a terrible storyline.
It's a terrible run.
It has been
it's like
absolutely
a terrible run of the show.
The worst ever.
Not,
but that has nothing to do with her being a female.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah,
I don't care that she's
happens.
a female. It bothers me that she's getting more notoriety, and not, I say it has nothing to do with her. It has to do with the writing.
Yeah.
I want to celebrate it because it's a great character, and it's been terrible.
On the other side of that, let's take a look at the Ocean's 8 film, which I thought was cute. However, we did not need to be it's an all-female version of Ocean's 11.
Or the female Ghostbusters.
The female Ghostbusters. Good point. I couldn't think of that one because I blocked it out. I'm so
right.
No, that absolutely does not need to be celebrated, in my opinion, because it never should have been. We didn't need to have an all-female Ghostbusters because Ghostbusters didn't need to be. And I mean, there's a woman out there who was talking about how she's got a 7-book contract because she's writing a female version of Game of Thrones. There doesn't need to be a female version of Game of Thrones. I can perfectly read Game of Thrones and watch Game of Thrones and just be happy about it.
And I can completely respect you for saying that, because the unfortunate thing is there are many people that if I said that, I am suddenly a misogynist and
I know, but it's
woman-hater.
because I'm a girl that I
Right.
can get it. But
See,
I'm sure people are going to
That's the other side of that
It's a double
rocky
standard.
road. That's the other side of that
Absolutely.
rocky road coin, in my opinion. Is like
Yeah, I can get away with a little
I
more
get
than you
it.
can.
When you said that, I get it. The acknowledgement of the first Doctor and being happy about it and being
and
happy
that's
that
something wonderful.
Yeah.
That could have happened. But then on the other side of it is like, yes, I don't want to say we needed a female doctor, but it was nice to have one finally.
Yes.
But we didn't need an all-female version of the Ghostbusters
Right.
because the version of the Ghostbusters that we already have
It's
appeals to both sides.
Okay.
So let me rotate this back and going with the initial question that I asked. way off the rail.
For that, sorry.
But I'll say this: I don't like female teams. I don't like male teams. I like
Teams.
I like teams. I like a really good. I like Justice League, and it's got both. I like Avengers. It has both. It has everything. It has a little something for everybody. That's what I like. I don't necessarily. I mean, I don't have anything against female teams. Like I'm excited for this Birds of Prey. I love the team. I don't really care that they're a female team. I want to like a team because I like it, and that's kind of. I wish that we could all, as geeks, get back to that. Like, I want to see this because I like it and it's really good, and that's really, I think, what we're all trying to say. All the wall, all over the place.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where I sit on it. So I don't know if that makes any sense to anybody.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's I think that's where we're getting is that it was one way and now it's this way. Eventually, it'll
Stop
all
swinging the pendulum.
It'll all get back to where, regardless of whatever it is, regardless of how you cast it, these are just going to become stories with characters that everyone loves for their own reasons to love them.
Okay, let's move on to the listener feedback.
Oh.
And now, let's see what all of our geek rock stars have to say.
Okay, for today's listener feedback, we asked, what is your favorite all-female team of all time and why? Now, I'm guessing that certain people didn't give us whys.
There were a few that didn't give us why.
And what happens if you don't tell us why?
I'm not gonna read it out.
But we do appreciate everybody that writes in, though.
We do. We had a lot. So thank you for very much for that. All right. So Carrie Sheldon says, Charlie's Angels, man. The original Lady Squad.
Charlie's
I love
Angels,
that the way she
man.
writes is exactly how she talks.
I love that. She says, I guess I would argue that they really had a perfect marriage of spy drama and action girl trope. A nice blend of comedy and drama, and the show was palatable and accessible, making it the fuel for millions of people to seek out similar stories and write their own, thus furthering the representation of strong female characters in popular media. It was an important show for that reason, and I love that explanation. So
as a young boy, I
you.
love that show.
Oh, I still like it.
Yeah.
I say it was never a female team for me. It was a good
What I
team.
always liked is that they were beautiful. Yep, they were beautiful but deadly, and they didn't sacrifice their femininity to do it. So that was just me.
And they didn't feed off of anything to keep that charisma and beauty.
Exactly.
Yep.
Danielle Ariana says Sailor Moon and the rest of the Sailor Scouts.
I never
Oh,
even
that's a
thought of
good
that.
one.
I didn't either. It's totally good.
That's solid.
I think they appealed to me so much, especially when I was really young, because as a bad as they are, I can't say the booty word. Come on, celestial powers superheroes with anthropomorphic apprentices. They possess that girly innocence that made them super relatable. They didn't have to sacrifice the emotional side of things for that tough persona female superheroes often get painted with. Agreed.
Nice.
They were girls who loved shopping animals and having a good cry and then doing some butt kicking. And I had to change that to butt kicking. So Scott Lundgren gave us Deadly Viper Assassination Squad.
Nice.
And pretty much for all the reasons that we went into when we did Who Beats Who. So Scott, I'm not going to read yours out, but you did read it, so thanks for the cool answer.
I wonder who's going to vote for when we do that.
I'm curious to see. Herb Skip Sanders says
Herb.
Josie and the Pussycats, a rock band that rocked and kicked villain booty every campy cartoon episode. There's a lot of A words in here I can't say.
Funny thing about that is, did they have to lug all their gear around while they were kicking booty?
They must have had to.
Oh, they had roadies.
You're right. They probably do. I wouldn't know what those are. Those are a myth to me.
And Dino from the
podcast
says the early 80s cult TV phenomenon She Spies with Natasha Hendrickson. How do you say that?
Hendrickson.
She's like Russian.
Sorry, Dino. But what he said. And he said it was campy and fun.
So, Dino, listen, Dino, you're going to have to get Dub to record going, huh? And then put it at the intro to your show.
That would be amazing.
And that's all we got because the rest of you suckers forgot to tell me why. Ooh, but thank you.
Yeah, we appreciate your feedback, guys. It does mean a lot, and that means we are moving on to the main event.
Now it's time for the main event.
Okay, so for our main event, we changed it 4 times. Literally, this is our 4th change. And while we were off mic right now, we just rewrote all our lists because our time went way over. So we are.
Is it okay to say that I'm happy?
No.
I think you just did.
Editing.
Y'all should see his face.
So we're doing our own 5-person team. So we're not going to be going around the table a whole lot. We're just going to do this once, and we'll discuss. So let me close it today. So let's start with you, Courtney. Who is your team?
Okay, my team
and
is
why?
Xena the Warrior Princess because it's Xena the Warrior Princess.
Well, yeah.
Wonder Woman, duh. Agent Carter, another duh, because it's my team. Furiosa, and then Media from Ice Pirates. I don't know if you guys remember that.
I remember that.
That's Angelica Houston's character from Ice Pirates, and she's very booty kicking.
I can say that is an angry team.
I know, it's like an angry power
It is
team.
very
like
angry.
I had a power team, and then like a space team, and then like a Hoover's team.
So what keeps the balance? There's somebody's got to keep the balance.
That's an
on this
angry
team.
team.
Agent Carter.
Okay.
She
Agent
keeps it
Carter.
together?
Yeah, Peggy, because she's actually very cool under pressure.
Right.
She'll break your nose if you're stupid, but
she's angry enough to where she'd be relatable to the rest of them.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
disciplined enough to where they'd look to her as inspiration to cool their jets when they had to.
She's got that very Britishness, but she can still like break your nose.
Break
if she has
noses.
to. Yep.
Awesome.
Okay, so mine is the Charlie's Angels universe.
Oh, okay.
Which ones? Because there was like 7 of them.
This is my own universe
Okay,
where
which
the
3?
Charlie's Angels exist, and it's Black Widow, Talia al Ghul, and Hit Girl are the Angels, and
okay.
Frank Castle is Charlie.
Who's
That's
Bosley?
like the deadliest.
Ooh.
Yeah, because
Give me
they
a
never
Bosley.
They never
Howard
see
the
Charlie.
Duck.
Are you sure you don't want?
There we go. I'll give you that one. Howard the Duck is the Bosley. That's your makeup. You're welcome, Disney Plus, for your newest show.
Yeah, but half your people are DC.
That's okay. Disney will buy them
God,
for
Howard,
this.
if there's ever
they
a
will buy
character
the
that's-
rights for this show.
Which one's DC on there?
Talia al Ghul.
Oh, Talia. Okay.
Yeah.
So if you had to
Hit Girl's
replace her with a
now,
Marvel
I think.
character,
If I had to replace who?
Talia.
Talia with a
Ghul,
Marvel character.
The Marvel character?
so we can sell this to Disney,
Disney
Plus.
Plus.
I want to see Howard the Duck being
We
the
can-
Bosley.
Mockingbird. I'd do Mockingbird.
Oh, that works.
Yeah.
Okay.
I go
We
Mockingbird.
get so much traction out of Howard the Duck on this show.
How can you not?
Harley Quinn and Howard the Duck.
Oh my god!
That's the
Hoobie
Hoobie 2.
Stay tuned for future IR Geek with
Oh,
Hoobie
Lord.
2, Howard the Duck versus
Howard
Harley Quinn.
Where there is nothing, just against Baby Yoda.
Gosh.
Oh man, we've completely lost it.
Go ahead, Jason. Tell us your.
Sorry, Jason.
So I tried to do a balanced team. Every team needs a good information gathering researcher, and that would be Oracle, Barbara Gordon, who I think is unmatched in that field. Every team needs a good magical occult expert who wears fishnet stockings, and that would be Zatanna. because fishnets, man. Oh no, more than that. She
It's
is
the backwards speak that kills me at that.
But she's got the skills. Absolutely, a very well-rounded magician. Every team, of course, needs muscle, and if you can get good legal representation to go with that, that's just a benefit. So Jennifer Walters / She-Hulk as the muscle / legal representation, and she could even be the two identities. Let's pretend that they're secret. People don't know that Jennifer is She-Hulk.
Isn't she always?
Let's pretend that they don't know.
In the current incarnation.
Let's pretend in my little universe here that they don't know.
It depends on which run it is, so he's
Fair
right.
enough.
Every good team needs a military-minded, skilled strategist who can fight like an MFer, and that would be Black Widow, who is basically the female Captain America in many ways.
Fair
Who,
enough.
by the way, I mentioned this once before, is a recipient of a super soldier serum.
I
Not
think I
the
Googled
A.
that trying to figure out if you were right or not.
Yeah, A.
But now I can't
that
remember what
canon?
to Google.
And I am right. Yes, that's comic canon. She is a super soldier serum recipient.
Not the super-
I don't think it's the same formula that was Captain America, but she is a super soldier serum recipient.
It's like the 6 soldiers in Spider-Man. They each got like one of the powers, and they can only use it for a certain amount of time. Kind of.
But
a similar
she
one.
basically is the female Captain America in almost every way.
Kind of.
Okay. And every team needs a true leader, and in this case of it being a female team, I'd say kind of a motherly figure at times for the potential of comfort in those emotional situations that could come up. Mm-hmm. Not any different than a father figure on a male team, but Sue Storm, who I think would, not only because she would have access to all those wonderful resources that exist in the Fantastic Four, and absorbed so much from her relationship with Reed Richards and things like that, I would say that she would make a perfect leader on this team.
I'm not going to disagree with you, but I don't know. I've never seen her lead. I see Reed lead. I've never seen her lead.
If you consider-
what's your
if you-
frequent? Have you frequently read the books?
If you consider
Not in a
the
long
more
time. I quit-
modern
I
Sue
quit a few
Storm.
I
years
think
ago.
current canon Sue Storm would definitely be a great leader.
Yeah,
for
when
that
she
team.
broke a long
Yeah.
time ago, when she broke out of doting wife, doting mother, and became a very independent character, I think she's got everything that it takes.
Yeah. Okay, so my 5 is, big surprise. I'm using a Green Lantern as for my head of the team, which is
shocked.
Aresia, which I love Aresia.
I'm shocked.
I know you are. Count you shocked.
I know.
and then everybody else is kind of scary, to be honest. I picked Rogue from Marvel fame because she'll suck anybody's powers, which
Heck
is pretty
yeah.
cool. We have the girl from iZombie because she needs to eat some brains every now and again, and then she can get all their intel that way. Get into Red Skull's head like that. That'd be cool as heck.
Want to get into Red Skull's house, though?
Yeah, Vampirella because hey, you got a zombie, let's get a vampire, and then finally Phoenix taking up the rear.
And
because-
Vampirella could also offer some.
Hey folks, I know that sound effect kind of jarred you out, but we had a little slight technical difficulty with our last 20 seconds of the show. So, just saying for everybody, keep on geeking on. Listen to the end. We do have some outtakes for you if you're really interested in it. And see you next time.
You have been listening to the latest episode of the iHeart Geek Show. Make sure you visit our website at www.iheartgeekshow.com. Make sure to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And if you check us out on YouTube, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And keep on geeking on to all of you geek rock stars.
Never seen it.
It's so good. Disney Plus, baby.
What's on Disney Plus?
Coco.
Ew.
Yeah. For anyone.
Really?
God, our communications officer is gross.
She's so nasty.
So gross.
I'm a delicate flower. What are you talking about?
Venus flytrap.
good.
Venus flytrap.
That sounded so
That
forced.
was more. It was more diaphragm than
Well, I
mine was,
needed
though.
it out
Seriously,
before we
a Venus
started,
flytrap, because
if I
if
didn't
plant is
if
gonna
I push it
burp,
out
it's gonna
now,
be
it's
one of
coming
them.
out in the
So
middle of the
gross, I know.
conversation.
That's a wonder I'm single, huh? All right, I'll behave now, Dad. That was Blythe.
He farted through his nose.
You're welcome.
It's gonna be one of those episodes.
Don't
guys.
make me say big rubber.
Thanks,
Don't.
Courtney. Now you've derailed him.
Don't. Goose fraba. And welcome.
Come on. Don't derail Dub. He's like a 10-year-old.
This needs to go in the outtakes.
I can do it if you want. If you want me
Who's
to
got-
do it
who's
because
got
you
some-
need, you need an introer.
Who's got
got
some
it. Been
keys that
derailed.
we can
We
jingle in
have
front of
to.
his face? To
I got it.